This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks get their very first road win of the season in a nail-biter versus the Dallas Mavericks, a Kyrie-less Dallas Mavericks, an AD-less Dallas Mavericks, a Cooper Flag-less Dallas Mavericks. But that team plays hard, though, ladies and gentlemen. They definitely played hard. The Knicks pulled it out somehow, some way. Even though they missed free throws, they pulled it out. So we get our first road win of the season. I'll take it. However we get it, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Let's break down the box score, talk a little bit. I'm not here for a long time. Not at all, because it's late. My man T. Crow in the building. Tony?
What up, son?
I'm good, man. Tight one. Almost gave this one to him. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of learning going on with this team. What's your thoughts on this game, bro?
Well, first off, I'll take the win however it comes, right? But it wasn't pretty. It wasn't easy to watch. You know, it looked like both teams didn't know whether they wanted to win or give the game to the other team. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Well, we got that monkey off our back.
Yeah, finally. Got the monkey off our back.
So maybe that's what it was. Some hidden internal pressure, knowing they were winless on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing you really can't take no team for granted.
Right.
And maybe subconsciously thinking, oh, is it happening again? Are we gonna blow this one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
you know,
we got the dub.
Right. And maybe this does get the monkey off the back. You know what I'm saying? And now, I mean, because we're on a 5-game road trip right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we lost the first one in Miami. Now we just beat Dallas. Right? We got to string together a couple of these road wins. The Knicks are 9-5 right now on the season. So, of course, we have a winning record. You know, but we're 1-4 on the road right now. You know, hopefully this is the beginning of the Knicks figuring out how to win on the road. Because this was supposed to be an inferior team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they came in like 4-9, 4-11, something like that. All their stars are sitting. They play hard. There's no doubt about that. You know what I mean? They definitely play hard. And they got some guys out there that obviously stepped up. But the Knicks are supposed to be the championship level basketball team. You know, we struggle like this versus a starless Dallas Mavericks team. You know, and I guess they've lost a bunch of close games, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, maybe we could take some solace in that. I don't know.
I mean, we played their role players for sure, but I would argue that out of all their role players, the majority of them are starter level players,
Mm-hmm.
right? If they got spread out throughout the league, a lot of those guys could start on, you know, a different organization.
Okay, I agree.
So, yeah, you know what I mean, and you know. A lot of those guys are still not far removed from a finals run. You know what I mean? Even the role players. So, they know how to fight. They know how to play. They're playing on demand, and like you just said, they've been in close losses.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, you know, I guess the expectation is so high for the Knicks. And Sean is right. A win is a win is a win. It's hard to get wins in this league on any given night. And I agree with Sean 100%. Just don't nobody clip that, because I normally don't agree with Sean. So don't clip it. I don't want anybody to know that I'm agreeing with that, man. But no, I agree with him 100%. It's hard to get a win in this league. So it's the expectations of the team, right? Growing pains. We had a discussion early before the season started, just about the beginning of the season and what kind of record the Knicks would have, like the first 20 games of the season or something like that. And one thing is I thought that the Knicks would struggle a little bit. Maybe they're doing a little bit better than struggling. They're 9-5, so I guess they're doing a little bit better than struggling. It's kind of up and down, their performances right now. And I think that's probably to be expected, though, that they're going to be up and down in that way, because they're figuring some things out. I don't know. I said on an Instagram post that early season lessons, right? When the Knicks lost versus Miami, early season lessons. That's what these are right now. And somebody was like, that last take was bull, because that was my last take on the little clip. But I still do believe it, right? That it's early season lessons that the Knicks are getting right now, and figuring out and learning how to win. And, they have a winning record while doing so. This is a brand new basketball team. And I know I say that almost every year with this team because there's been turnover, but this is a new basketball team, so they got to figure each other out. It's not going to be easy. And, they'll figure it out and start to string together more wins, I think, in a row. You know what I mean? How do you feel about it being early season lessons?
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about it, when we were 2-0. We were learning while we were winning, and then we started learning while we were losing. So I agree. This whole thing is a learning process for the guys playing together, the coach, the different lineups. I heard tonight they said this was like the 8th different starting lineup we had so far. We didn't have 8 different starting lineups until the 57th game last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, so however you take it, you know what I mean? I think that's significant. You know what I mean? And for the players, I think that means more learning, more adjusting, as they go.
Yeah.
Along with Mike Brown, figuring out who he likes and giving people opportunities.
How many different?
I'm laughing at Yabusele. I know we'll get there.
Yeah. How many different lineups did you say we've already done this season?
8th different starting lineup, I think, tonight.
I mean, but that's all due to injury, though. Not really.
No, that's fair. But no matter what it's due to think we didn't have. It took 57 games last year to get to the 8th different starting lineup of the season. That I think that's significant.
Yeah, I dig that, because we've had more injuries early this year than I guess we did last year. Who was the only guy injured last year in the beginning of the season? Shamet, maybe?
Shamet,
Mitch. Shamet and Mitch. Yeah. Yeah. I actually seen a post where someone was like, "Thanks, Tibbs, for OG being injured." How asinine is that? It was probably Sean. Sean probably did that. You know what I mean? Probably Sean. Ah, boy. Ricardo said, hate to say it, this team doesn't even look like an Eastern Conference Finals team. Neither did the Indiana Pacers last year at this time, did they? The Pacers didn't look like an Eastern Conference Finals team until midway through the season. So I think we should, allow this team to grow, allow this team to grow before we say that they're not. You're not saying they're not. You said they don't look like an Eastern Conference Finals team. And I know someone will say, well, you questioned their toughness. Yeah, I questioned their toughness. I didn't say that they weren't an Eastern Conference Finals team. I said if they want to be a champion, they got to be tough. So, this team can get there. J-Rocks, very true. Guess just talking about, team struggling or whatever, but it's still early. It is. They're learning. It's early and they're learning. Kev Berg said, not going to lie, Diawara looks like a better fit than Yabusele at the moment. Well, I think we all kind of have talked about that, but, he's got to battle his way up the ranks and take advantage of his chances, right?
But I said it earlier about Yabusele, and I think his 1 minute last game meant something, and he had a little extended run from that tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's itching his way in. You know what I mean? And Yabusele's getting a full opportunity.
A full opportunity, right? To a full opportunity. You know what I'm saying? He's got to capitalize on that because there's people breathing down his back. Well, one player in particular, and that's Diawara. You know what I mean? Anyway, the box score, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at the box score real quick. Because, like I said, man, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Because it's late. 28 points for Jalen Brunson, returning from ankle injury. 28 points, 5 assists for Brunson. Shot 47% from the field. Shot 28% from the three-point line. Missed a key free throw down the stretch. And
Who didn't?
Yeah. Who didn't? That's the truth. Who didn't? Knicks were terrible from the free throw line tonight. Terrible from the free throw line. 19 for 35 from the free throw line. Knicks missed 16 free throws tonight.
And we were the best free throw shooting team coming into tonight, I believe.
Come on. And the crazy thing, I was sitting there with my fiance watching, and I was like, Brunson is good to miss one of them. And missed. But we know Brunson is normally good to miss one during those situations when he gets to the line. You know what I mean? JW said this is that lack of killer instinct. Do you believe that? I want to get back to the box score real quick. Do you think the Knicks have a lack of killer instinct?
I don't think everybody has a killer instinct on the team. I think there's a select few players that have that on the team. I don't think that's a collective mindset of the team. Not at this point, no.
Right.
I think you got to build to that too, though.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You got to get consistent first.
Yeah. I think
and then you can get that killer instinct.
Yeah. I think you got to go through I think you do have to go through some struggle, though. You know what I'm saying? To get to that killer instinct. You go through some pain, and then you get that killer instinct.
Let some games slip away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Feel a little bit desperate, 18 points for Karl-Anthony Towns, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. Filled up the stat sheet. Didn't shoot the ball well, but he filled up the stat sheet. Bridges, 16 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Josh Hart had 16 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists.
Hold on. When you talk about Bridges, you can't leave out the steals and blocks.
Yeah, you're right. 3 steals, 2 blocks for Bridges. He definitely filled up the stat sheet. Definitely right about that. Josh Hart had 16 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. 11 points for Deuce. 8 points for Jordan Clarkson. Yabusele had 4, 2 for 7. 0 for 5 from the three-point line. He's getting his shot. There's no doubt about it. And Bridges shot the best on the team. He shot 53.8% from the field tonight. Only 1 for 5 from the 3-point line, but he still shot the best. 7 for 13. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. I had a question that I wanted to look at. And I'm going to get to the phone call in a second. Ricardo says, Sim, did you expect Yabusele to look this bad? I did not. You know, I did not. That's all I can say. You know, let's see what happens, but I think he's working his way out of the lineup. There's no doubt about that. He's working his way out, y'all. He's working his way out. Get to the phone call real quick. My man Corey from Rochester, what's happening with you, brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling much better.
I'm glad to hear
I
that.
owe you an apology because I know you had called, but I was asleep.
That's all good,
and
man.
I know
It's all good.
Talk about something that day, but I apologize. I didn't accept your call. So yeah, I was asleep, man.
It's all good. The key is you called back, and even though we didn't link up and talk, I knew that you was all right because you called back. So that was the point of it right there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But you know, your thoughts on tonight's game, though, brother.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't watch the game, but when I was watching the score, I said, "Yo." When I saw the score kept staying tight through the whole game, I said, "The Knicks are struggling," and I could tell when they're struggling. I mean, they cannot get no higher than 7 points.
Yeah.
And when I saw the free throws was missed on the score, and when I saw key free throws missed, I was like, "Oh no, this is what's going to let them hang around."
Mm-hmm. And it
But
did.
big up to Shamet, man. And then when I saw the highlight, how the way he got back in transition and stopped that fast dude, I think his name was Brandon Williams.
Brandon Williams, yeah.
And then when I saw him hooked around Shamet, I said, and I thought the basket could have been an and one, but it said, nope, offensive foul. Great call.
And yeah, I was scared it was an and one. For sure. I was scared. And, you know, because it looked like it from a distance.
Word. Hey, Tony, salute. What's up, my guy?
What up, Corey? Good to hear from you.
You too, man. It was my birthday week last week, but let you know that I had a fascinating birthday, so I wanted to, put that in real quick.
Nice.
Happy birthday, man.
You know,
happy belated.
No doubt. Happy belated birthday. Really glad you're doing better, feeling better. You know what I'm saying? People in the chat are saying that they're glad you're doing better, so you got a lot of support.
I appreciate the chat, keeping me in love, saying that means a lot to me. Chat's like my second best family, man, because, I need all the family I can have to try to help keep my life going. And I really love that from the bottom of my heart. I really do.
No doubt. We appreciate you, man. Corey, I'm gonna let you go because I'm not here for a long show.
Right.
And we might have some other callers, but I appreciate you calling in. Appreciate you updating the chat, and I hope, things can continue to get better for you.
I really appreciate that. And, I believe they will. Just a matter of time.
Sounds good, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
Happy birthday again.
Yeah, for real. Happy birthday. Did Brandon Williams used to play for the Knicks?
I don't think so. He looked familiar to you?
Something familiar about the name. It's like a young guy, that I thought we had somebody, a young Brandon player that was really quick that we didn't play a long time ago. I don't know.
I don't recall that. I think they said that was his fourth year, though. I thought I heard that
okay.
on TV.
Yeah, and maybe it was a different Brandon, but we did have a Brandon that played on this team, a small guy that was really quick. I forgot when it was, though.
Oh, the shooter, right?
Maybe.
I think I do remember who you're talking about. I don't believe that's the same person, though. I think he was undersized, too.
Yeah, we had an undersized guard. Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for the Dallas Mavericks tonight, they had a lot of guys step up. A
D-Lo.
D'Angelo Russell, 23 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Had a great game tonight. Najee Marshall had 23
Right.
points, 5 rebounds. Great game tonight. Max Christie had 15 points, 7 rebounds. Klay Thompson, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. PJ Washington had 6 points, 10 rebounds. Derek Lively had 4 points, 10 rebounds. Jaden Hardy had 11 points. You know, they had a lot of guys step up tonight for the Dallas Mavericks to, you know, basically give the Knicks everything that they can handle. Everything that they could handle, they gave the Knicks. You know what I mean? And, you know, I don't know. Hopefully it's going to get better with the Knicks, man, as far as just putting these teams to bed, winning, you know, continuing to win on the road, put these teams to bed earlier. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to give the Knicks their best shot because they look at the Knicks as one of the top teams in the league, one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league. So every single team is giving the Knicks their very best shot. The Knicks have got to battle through it all season long. It's going to be this way. All season long is going to be this way. The Knicks will have to battle through the best that every team has to offer. And my hope is that it just prepares us, right, for the playoffs. Because every game is going to be tough. Every game is going to be a battle. Sean Richardson said he played for the Westchester Knicks. Yeah, the dude that I'm talking about played for the Westchester Knicks, came up from the Westchester Knicks. And maybe it was that Brandon Williams. Maybe it was the same Brandon Williams. You know. What do you think about Shamet and his play recently? Because he's really been, he's been, you know, instrumental in the Knicks, winning ball games the last few games, you know? What do you think about him?
I mean, I can't say nothing bad, really. Like, I said all the bad thing in the offseason when we was deciding on, when we was discussing who we should keep and who we shouldn't,
Right.
to be honest. So, you know what I mean? He's made me do an about face and you know, change my tune. And it's not just the career game and it's not just tonight. Like he really did it from the start of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made me look at the journey. You know what I mean? Like what he went through last year. And you could probably say he, you know, he didn't give his best. He didn't show his best. He probably feels he
Right.
didn't show his best. He didn't get his best foot forward. So, you know, coming into the full off season, coming in healthy, I think he got like a little chip on his shoulder and wants to show what he wanted to show last year. You know what I mean? So kudos to him, man.
Yeah,
Can't say nothing bad.
9 points for Landry Shamet tonight, 3 for 6 from the field, 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. But, you know, he hit a big 3 down the stretch of the game. You know,
Back to back, wasn't it?
As a matter of fact, maybe so. As a matter of fact, I think he hit the big 3 to put the Knicks up 112-109.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He hit that 3. You know what I mean? So, I mean, listen, you know, he's working himself into a New York Knicks contract, like longer-term contract, if he continues to play like this. And Mike Brown likes him. Mike Brown is putting a lot of faith in him, so I think it's helping him build confidence. You know, and he may have some big moments down the stretch of this season when we get there. And shout out to Sean. He said that is the same Brandon Williams who started in the Knicks organization. So, yeah. Still the real AD said, but Shamet got hurt. Should probably pack it in, and he didn't. The kid is worthy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, he battled through almost being out the league.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's, you know, worked his way into not being a full-time starter with the Knicks, but being one of the guys that Mike Brown starts. And so far is having a pretty good season with the Knicks. And there's something to be said for that type of mental toughness the type of mental toughness that the Knicks need on this basketball team. Something to be said for that.
Absolutely.
You know, and he's becoming one of the guys that, you know, you're depending on for shooting, play some defense, you know, and you're looking to hit big shots like he's done over the past few games. So, you know, I like that. I like that. You know, and kudos to Mike Brown for believing in him.
Absolutely.
You know, we're not just saying, you know, he's an end of the bench guy that came in, we pick him up. But no, Mike Brown seen what he can do and said, you know what, he can fit in the way I want to play.
Even him jumping ahead of Clarkson, you know, theoretically, of course, but you know, Brown could have easily said, "Hey, Clarkson is a 6-man, like award winner, proven." You know what I mean? We know, like he could have definitely went with Clarkson with the heavier minutes per se or role, but you could tell, and it was apparent from early,
right,
that he had a lot of faith in Shamet and what he brings, and more so than, you know, Clarkson. No knock. I'm just saying.
Sean Richardson, context is everything, bro. You said if Thibodeau showed half the confidence in Shamet as Mike Brown, Knicks would have made it to the finals last year. I'm not ready to say that they would have made it to the finals. You know, you got to look at how long Shamet was injured last year when he came back, and when he did come back, Tom Thibodeau actually did give him chances, and he was not playing well. Let's you can't deny that. Tibbs gave him chances, and he wasn't playing well. As a matter of fact, I can recall coming on to this chat and people saying, "Sit Shamet down. Why is he still playing? Get him out of there." So, you know, all of that, and fact, Sean, that D. Coolidge is saying, that's not the truth, because he got his chances last year. Maybe he was still hurting. Maybe he wasn't on 100%. Maybe he didn't get 100% until later on.
And he had to have been out of rhythm. Like, he couldn't play for how long, couldn't shoot for how long.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm sure he did his little rehab stint in the G League or whatever the case, but I'm sure he was out of rhythm.
Right.
You know what I mean? To come into the team in the depth of the season, you know what I mean? With games on the line and things of that nature. Like,
exactly.
Again, it took a lot of thinking for me to change my tune on Shamet, but his journey last year, like that, you got to respect that.
Yeah.
From like even with the bad performance,
right?
You have to respect him getting back to the team, and the team essentially waiting for him. So that was faith.
And from the beginning of the season, when if you remember correctly, Tom Thibodeau was talking about Shamet and being in the rotation. Right? He was talking about Shamet in that way. So, you know, let's D. Coolidge said, bro, he's getting rhythm in 3-minute spurts. What are you talking about? 3-minute spurts. He might have started a third of our games this year. He's been playing some significant minutes. He's not getting 3-minute spurts. He's been playing some significant minutes. And let's not forget that he went through an entire training camp with this basketball team where he was hurt in training camp last year. Right? You know, all of that means something. So, you know, let's not forget about that. Okay, so all right. So here's where you guys. Oh, you said who? Bro, D. Coolidge said who's getting rhythm in 3-minute spurts. That's the way you start. He was coming back from injury. You got to test it out. You got to test it out.
I'll tell you who's playing great in 3-minute spurts. Mitchell Robinson.
He is. You know what I mean? Mitch, you know, when you look at Mitchell Robinson, man, I mean, he played 21 minutes tonight, 3 points, 8 rebounds.
First time too.
But you know, when he's getting his time out there, he's gobbling up boards. I mean, right now playing 15, 16 minutes a game, and he's the number one offensive rebounder in the league. That's crazy. You know
Which
what I mean?
means per 36 would be, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I'm sure the other people on that list are playing more than 16, way more than 16 minutes
More
in
than
the
16
game.
minutes, yeah. For sure. For sure. The Knicks tonight, ladies and gentlemen, shot 44% from the field, only 28% from the three-point line, 54% from the free throw line. That's pretty crazy. And to still win the game, that's pretty crazy. The Knicks were out-rebounded 50-49. The Knicks had 27 assists tonight. Yeah, out-rebounded. 27 assists tonight for the Knicks, 8 steals, 10 blocks, only 9 turnovers. The Knicks won the points in the paint 44-30. 21 second chance points for the Knicks, 11 for Dallas, and 16 fast break points for the Knicks, only 13 for the Dallas Mavericks. So, you know, the Knicks did what they needed to do to get that win, finally get a road win and get the monkey off their back. Now it's time to extend it, get more wins on the road, you know what I mean, and go from there. It was an ugly one, but like Sean said, a win is a win is a win is a win. Got the win. You know what I mean? You got the win. And that's the best we can do right now is to get the win. You know? Who do we play next?
I'm sure.
About to check schedule right now. You would think it's probably, let me see, they play the Magic on
Oh, yeah, Saturday, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to
That's
miss
gonna be
that
tough.
game.
Magic are 8-7 right now. The Knicks are 9-5. Yeah, that's gonna be another tough one. And then they go to Brooklyn to play the Nets. Okay, and then to Charlotte, play the Hornets, and then they'll be back home November 28th versus the Bucks. So, yeah, we need to get that win versus the Magic because they gave us our only home loss.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we need to get that win, get it back.
And they thugged this out. You know what I mean?
No doubt, they definitely did. They definitely did, and they did it purposely.
Mm-hmm.
Boncaro, you know, was interviewed before the game, and he said, you know, we want to go in, play rough, be physical. You know what I mean? And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. They definitely, like you said, they thugged us out. They definitely thugged us out. No doubt about that. What do we got to do to win that game? I actually feel like this was a good warm-up game for the Mavericks.
For the Magic?
I mean, for the Magic. The Mavericks were a good warm-up game for the Magic.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of feel that way. You know, just the toughness that the Magic played with.
Muck one up and get a gritty win.
Mm-hmm. Because the Mavericks played us kind of tough that same way.
The only difference is, like, to me, this just showed us we could not shoot well or you know what I mean? Like, we could have an ugly win, but it wasn't like we got tough, we got physical. You know what I mean? It wasn't like this wasn't like gritty. You know what I mean? It was just ugly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so we got an ugly win. I think the Magic we gotta have to show some grit. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to show some fight. We're gonna have to show some fire.
Right.
Like we won't get a win playing like this, like we did tonight against Orlando.
Right.
Like, Cat is gonna have to have a way better game. Even though he got his double-double, you know what I mean? He's gonna have to play a lot better. Yeah, they tough, bro.
Yeah. The Public Enemy said the Knicks got to punch back, getting bullied. No doubt.
Or punch first.
Something. Yeah.
Got some more zone tonight, son.
Mm-hmm. And they'll keep. I think we'll keep seeing it sprinkled in, and then it'll become something that we do a little bit more. That becomes really a mainstay. Kev Berg said that's not the type of ugly win you want to see. If you're missing shots and you get a win, yeah. But to miss all those free throws, now I don't see them missing those free throws. It was one of them things. I don't think they're missing those free throws. Not that many, of course. Again, well, I'm not gonna say again like next game against Orlando. I don't think so. Yeah.
Here's what I'll say: it was nice to win on a defensive play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if they called it a defensive foul, I believe we still had our challenge. So I think like that being said, that's good. But again, like missing those free throws, what it was 11 free throws, 11 plus free throws.
We missed 16 free throws.
Oh, like we're not gonna win games like that.
Nah, not even close.
We'll take the win.
Yeah.
But this was a far less competition than Orlando.
Yeah. So we'll see. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna head out. It's 1:30. I got to get up early in the morning. Got to work. You know what I mean? But we'll be doing the Lucis Lounge tomorrow night. And I'll, maybe if I get a chance, I'll jump on sometime throughout the day. We'll see. But I definitely appreciate everybody for being on with us tonight. Tony, any last words?
Me and my family, we going to the Knicks Charlotte game, so we're gonna have a nice little group outing. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
but
it's nice.
Yeah, man, we keep it going. I'll see you tomorrow night for the Lucis Lounge.
No doubt, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful. We out. Spread love, baby.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.